All right, everybody, today we're talking about intervals of increase and decrease and maximums and minimums. These are two new observations we can make about any function that we graph or have an equation for. So we're going to start by talking about maximums and minimums, and we're going to start by looking at the vertex. So for this first example, we've talked about vertex for a couple class periods now, and it's where your function turns. It's a turning point right here. So the vertex here is -3, -2. The other question we want to ask when thinking about maximum and minimums, other than where the vertex is what's the domain and what's the range? Now, for these types of functions, we've already talked about domain is always going to be all real numbers. We haven't really hit the special functions where your x values become decreased or you can't use all of them. So right now, all real numbers or -infinity to infinity, all of those numbers. Range is all of your possible y values. And you'll notice our graph kind of stops right here at -2. And then everything above -2 is included in our range. We're allowed to include all of those y values. So y has to be greater than or equal to -2. So the question we have to ask ourselves now is, what is the minimum value for this function? Well, it can't be -3 because -3 isn't down here for our function. And when we're talking about x being -3, that's not the smallest it could be because our x values go on forever to -infinity. So -3 isn't our minimum value. It's actually going to be -2. That's the smallest value that we can have. Why? Because the range stops at -2. Everything is greater than that. So our minimum value is -2. So in example 2, they tell us to find the vertex and then determine if it's a maximum or a minimum. Again, your vertex is where your graph changes directions. So right here at 5, 4. 5, 4 is your vertex. And is that a maximum or a minimum? Well, remember that's kind of a range question. Our range is right here and goes everything less than 4. So everything less than 4, that means our maximum value, the largest it could be, is 4.